Perfect. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and you are watching MLS Ireland does predictions for week 2 of MLS. MLS is back. Let's go. Perfect. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, my name is Sean, and this is my prediction shows. And yes, if you are new to this, welcome. And if hit that subscribe button, all that kind of jazz. Hit like, share, all that kind of stuff that people put on. And if you're coming back to this again, I know it looks different, but I kind of said in the last one, that I will be moving house. This is just basically a temporary place from my parents, but still, just to keep me going. And so this is what I've got. So I may as well crack on. Last week was the first week and was pretty cool. There's a couple of good games that I was quite surprised by. Like Austin beating Cincinnati 5-0, which was pretty impressive, and DC United beating Charlotte 3-0. Inter Miami against Chicago Fire. That was like a 0-0, which I kind of suspected to be a bit better than that. It wasn't too bad of a game. Atlanta beating Sporting Kansas City, which is a pretty good game. Dom Dwyer scoring for them. LA Galaxy beating New York City FC in the last minute with a Chicharito goal, which is a pretty good goal. But saying that, this is week 2, so I might as well crack on. The first game is New England Revolution against FC Dallas. Now, New England drew, I believe, their last game. That was a 2-2 draw against Portland Timbers in Portland, which is not a bad result, all the same, for the defending champions. And they're coming up against an FC Dallas team who was at home, and they drew against Toronto. Now, coming into this one, you would suspect it should be an easy one for New England. I went for a 2-1 win. New England should preferably win this game at home. Their first game home after winning the Supporters' Shield. So yeah, it's going to go for a 2-1 win in that one. The next one is Toronto against New York City Red Bull. Got you there, didn't I? Toronto actually drew. What was that again? Toronto. I think they drew against Dallas. I was just bloody well just saying. And then New York Red Bulls. They did something similar. I think they actually won. I should be really more well prepared than this, but I'm not. Because it's fun. Yep, they won 3-1 in San Jose, which is a pretty good result. Saying that, Toronto at home, they should probably get a good result in this one, but I'm going to go for a draw just for the fact that Toronto, I think they're capable of scoring a lot of goals, but they're capable of conceding not quite a lot. Kind of, you could say, probably the same as about every team in MLS, to be fair, except the Nashville. Anyway, saying that, I went for a 1-1. There could be like a 2-2 draw on this one, but I went for a 1-1. I think Toronto are going to try to be more defensive. Coming into this game just to basically see if they can basically cope with defensive issues, because they're coming on to a New York Red Bull team who can, like we saw, could actually get a good game out of this one. So I'm going to go for a 1-1. The next one is Sporting Kansas City against Houston. Now Houston have got a new nice midfielder, nice shiny one coming in September, summertime anyway, basically. Mexican international in Herrera. They're coming up against now into Sporting Kansas City, who, like I said, got beat by Atlanta, which was a pretty... Sporting Kansas City looked like they were going to get back into it, and then Dom Dwyer did what Dom Dwyer does, basically, and get the second goal, and then the new guy scored the last goal, the Youth Academy kind of guy. I can't bloody remember his name. I really should, but I don't. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-0 win in this one. Houston Dynamo away from home, they're not really great at home, so I don't think they're going to do a good job in this one, so I'll go for that. The next one is Montreal against Philadelphia. Now this one was a trickier one. Philadelphia drew against Minnesota. I seen the game, but there isn't really much to be saying about it. And they're coming up against the Montreal team who believe got beat. Montreal, where are they? They got beat by Orlando 2-0. I didn't get to see that one, but I heard it was a good game. Alexander Pato scoring the first goal back, so great to see him back. Actually, I remember saying that I think I was suspecting to score in that goal and game, and he did. Of course he did. I'm that good. So I went for against Philadelphia, against Montreal. I went for a 1-0. Montreal at home are a very good team. Philadelphia away from home aren't that great of a team, but they are capable of scoring, and I think this is going to be another draw for Philadelphia. 1-1. The next one is San Jose Earthquakes against Columbus Crew. And now San Jose Earthquakes, this is their second home game in a row. They got beat the first one by New York Red Bulls 3-1, and they're coming up against a Columbus Crew team who I think should probably get a good result in this one. They beat Vancouver 4-0, but this one's going to be away from home, so I'm going to go for a 1-0. 1-0. 1-0 to Columbus Crew. I just think they have the better players, and I think this is going to be a tough season for San Jose. The next one is Chicago Fire against Orlando. I fucked up again. Jesus Christ. Chicago Fire against Orlando. So Chicago Fire against Orlando. I do think this one's going to be a fun game. I think Chicago Fire may get Shaqiri up and going in this game. I do think he can probably score a goal in this one, but I think Orlando are probably a wee bit too strong for this one. This probably will end up in a draw of some sort, but I think this is going to be like a 2-1 win to Orlando. I just think they're more rounded than Chicago at the moment. I think Chicago does need a wee while just to get into the swing of things, so I'm going to go for Orlando 1 in that one. Next one is Colorado Rapids against Atlanta United. Now Colorado got beat by LAFC quite convincingly by Diego Vela. He basically scored 3 goals for them. And they're coming up against now Atlanta, who, like I said, beat Sporting Kansas City 3-1. Now these two teams, I think Colorado at home are a very good team. They're a very capable team, and with their fans behind them, I think they're going to give Atlanta a good push for this one. I actually predicted 1-1, but I kind of changed my mind at the last minute and went for 2-0. I do think these two teams can score quite a few goals, and it's going to be a pretty exciting one, so I went for 2-2. It's FC Cincinnati against DC United. Going to be another rough one, Cincinnati. DC United beat Charlotte 3-0, even though Charlotte tried to get back into the game, but it's going to be a long season for them as well. Coming into this one, I think Cincinnati are going to get beat by DC United. I'm going to go for like a 3-1 win. I do think they're going to score a goal. They could possibly get the first goal, but I think it's actually going to be really like a DC United score first, then Cincinnati, and then it's just going to be blown away by DC United's having a better team, basically. So 3-1 win in that one. The next one is Minnesota against Nashville. As I said, Minnesota drew against Philadelphia, whereas Nashville, I believe they won a very good, convincing game against Seattle, which is pretty impressive. And this is now their second away game because they're getting the stadium soon enough. It would be pretty cool if it gets over to that. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-0. I think Minnesota at home are very capable of winning this game. Nashville are very capable of winning this game away from home. Last season, I'm trying to come off as in stats and progress and all that kind of stuff, but I think Nashville are probably a better team all around. But I think Minnesota at home are going to get a result in this one, so I'm going to go for just like a 1-1. Yep, save 1-1s with Nashville's. The next one is Real Salt Lake against Seattle Sounders. Now, Seattle Sounders, as I say, got beat by Nashville at home. Now, this is going to be their away home against Real Salt Lake, who didn't play great at all against Houston Dynamo. I heard that game was pretty awful. I didn't get to see it either. So I'm going to go for like Seattle should probably win this one. I do think Real Salt Lake probably may get a goal in this one, so I went for like a 2-1 win. Seattle are the far better team, and they should basically they should win this one easily, but I don't think it's going to be their season this year, so it's probably going to be a bit tough for them. So I'm going for like a 2-1 win. The next one is Charlotte against Los Angeles Galaxy. Hernandez is back firing. They're having a good team now, and they have Douglas Costa, who's probably going to start looking a bit better now because he did look a wee bit sluggish. Granted, it's a different MLS is very quicker than you suspect. So coming from the Brazilian league and then coming from like Juventus and all that kind of stuff, where they're kind of not probably as slow but more technical, it probably is very hard to keep up. So he may get his go in this one, where Charlotte, who quite frankly they're new guys, and the new guys never really have it quite easily. So I'm going to go for like a 3-1 win to LA Galaxy, just for the fact is they have a far better team. I know Charlotte's home game, they're going to have a hell of a lot of people there, but I'm going to go for like a 3-1 win to LA Galaxy. Second last one now is Austin. Why did I say like that? But anyway, Austin against Inter Miami. Inter Miami kind of disappointed me. I think they bought game winners. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I can always say you could probably now put the term to bed. You need championship winners on your team to win you the championship. I don't think that's the case anymore. Whereas Inter is probably the basically the shining light on my thing. Basically, you need a team that could basically fit your system and work basically. And I think they've lost their biggest worker in Lewis Morgan. So I think it's going to be a tough season for them. As Austin won quite convincingly last week against Cincinnati, I'm going to go for an Austin 1-0 win. I think Inter Miami need a worker in midfield, and I don't think they have it yet. The next one and the last one is Los Angeles FC against Portland Timbers. Now, Portland Timbers, like I said, drew. Didn't they draw at home against New England, which is a pretty good result, and LAFC won 3-0. Well, Diego's Vela won 3-0. So, saying that, I do like Portland Timbers this season, but I think LAFC are probably finding their feet and probably do look dangerous, and Caldas Vela does look on it at the moment, so I went for like a 2-0 win. Sorry Portland, but yep. Los Angeles, I think it could be them or New England this season. I do think New York probably can be there, New York City obviously could be thereabout. But I think they're going to lose their best player in Castellanos. Atlanta still probably need a wee bit more in midfield. Philadelphia, they're just selling their best players constantly. That's not a good deal. Nashville, I do think look good, and they're probably going to be there or thereabout. Seattle probably not as much. So yep, those are my predictions. I hope you enjoyed them. Hope to see you on the next one. Sure, why not? Bye now.